Hey, it's your boy Elder Keith Humes coming back to you live. Listen, people ask me all the time, how did I achieve such great success? Being that I didn't have a business degree, I attribute everything that I know to the power of belief. I had to unlearn, relearn, then advance. You see, the power of belief often empowers the highest level of performance. Performing with belief is a critical factor for achieving success at anything in life, whether it's sports, business, school, family, friends, neighbors, communities, all are impacted by belief. What you believe drives what you do, and what you do determines what you achieve. So when your belief is strong, you perform smarter, better, and with greater resilience. This is true everywhere, whether it's business, again, athletics, educational, personal relationship. What you believe either empowers you or it limits you. Empowering beliefs pull your performance up. Limiting beliefs pull your performance down. Now, this is especially true under competitive pressure or in response to challenging situations. The good news is that what you believe is your choice. Win in your mind first. Now, under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion. You rise or sink to the level of your training. Challenging situations put pressure on your mental toughness. Talent isn't enough. See, physical training isn't enough. You got to fully be engaged mentally. In other words, you must believe. This is because the body follows the mind, and the highest level of performance requires the deepest level of belief. Elite performers win in their mind first. Look at Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali came into the boxing game at a total disadvantage. Number one, he was too skinny, didn't have the experience, but what he did have was belief in his mind. And he beat his opponent before they got in the game. You got to understand that. Look at New England. They played in the Super Bowl. Man, let me tell you something. Atlanta had them beat 3 quarters down. They was 21-3. But they had a belief. In the fourth quarter, when it began, you could see and feel New England's belief getting stronger. You could see and feel Atlanta's belief starting to waver. With a minute left in the fourth quarter, the Patriots scored to tie the game and went on to win in overtime. It was the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. Belief played a big part in that. The Patriots played poorly. The Falcons played well for 3.5 quarters, but the Patriots never lost faith. And their belief kicked in when they needed it the most. It empowered them to accomplish something that had never been done and which looked almost impossible at the time. But belief is just that powerful. Belief is so powerful that it resides in your ability to do 4 things. Belief creates vision. Belief creates strength of will. Belief creates resilience. And belief ignites and activates. Belief sees the invisible. It sees what you have not yet been accomplished yet. Belief sees the goal. You see that? It sees the path required to achieve the goal. Now, the path is the work that needs to be done. The people who believe have a crystal clear vision of what really works for them, okay, and what it looks like for them. They see themselves training, practicing, performing, achieving. Then they get up and they do the work. The path is literally you getting up, doing the work when you don't even feel like doing it. You got to ignore distractions and doubters, even doubting yourself. You have to silence the critic in your mind first. You got to see it before you can feel it. You got to feel it before you got it in your hand. You understand? You got to have that strength. You got to have that determination, that relentless perseverance, consistency, and discipline. You got to be uncommon when everybody else is common. You got to make a way out of no way. Let me tell you something. On the path of victory, on the path of success, on the path of overcoming, you have to always believe that this did not come from you. You got to believe that it was a God-given thing. You got to believe that with God, all things are possible. You got to actually do a recommitment, not only to God, but to yourself too. You got to look at your children and say, one day you will not struggle the way that I struggle. You have to look at your wife and say, one day, baby, you could have everything that you want. You have to look at your man and say, listen, one day you will not have to struggle the way you do. You have to put this out there to God. Once you committed to him, he takes care of everything. Now stop for a moment and consider the power of these first three elements of belief. Laser-like vision and extraordinary strength of will. Now, imagine what you could achieve if you train your mind to believe the impossible. If you're constantly looking for the impossible, you will always find a possible way to do it. If you're constantly looking for solutions rather than hyping on the problem, you will always find the solution. But when you hype on the problem, you will always encounter the problem. Difficulties are only challenges and setbacks that propel you forward and overcome everything that's in your way. Belief empowers people by giving them unshakable resolve. Belief is what animates the ability to respond to any situation with extraordinary toughness and tenacity and determination. Because you believe, elite performers maintain an unwavering focus on what needs to be done in response to adversity. Now you say, well, I don't have enough money. I don't have a house. I don't have the skill set to get it done. Guess what you need to always say? There's somebody around the corner that's about to help me get this thing done. And then you got to be looking for it. And when you look for it, just look at it the other way. When you're always looking for problems, you're going to always find it in the person. But when you're always looking for the best in them, you always discover the best also in you. You got to overcome your limiting belief system and start incorporating things that you have not done. You got to be the example for your children and your family. You have to be the example. Let me tell y'all something. I was the one that was the most messed up in my family. I was the one that was always getting in trouble. It was 6 of us. All of us was drinking and drugging. But when I got saved, everybody stopped. That's amazing, right? They said, if God can do it for him, he can do it for me. Belief ignites and activates, and it becomes contagious. Belief does one more thing. It's so unique in human performance that because it has laser focus and because it burns through doubt and distraction, belief is the ignition that activates your ability to operate at maximum capacity. It gives you full access to talent and ability. It also puts you in a room with other people that are just like you. That's the amazing thing. So when you are focused around people, or you're around people that are focused on small things, you will always accomplish the smallest things in the world. But when you're around people that are focused on big things, you will be the next one doing the biggest thing too. Again, when you're under pressure, you rise to the occasion. You rise or sink to the level of your training. When you constantly train yourself, you will always rise to that occasion where you can overcome anything. Okay? Engage your mind to believe that everything that you do is ordained from God, and that everything you do, you can overachieve and you can be anything that you desire to be. Live life on your own terms. Stop being defined what society tells you what you can and can't do. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. The educational system in America and even in the world is designed to get you. Our parents tell us, go to school, get a good education, and then do what? Get a good job. That's the biggest lie on the planet. I'm not against school, but let me tell y'all something. School trains you for the factory. It trains you for J-O-B, journey of bondage. I have never seen anybody retire rich working 40 hours a week, y'all. I've never seen it. Okay? So if you want to be that person that can overcome it, you got to change your limiting belief system. You got to be resilient. I need you to understand this. Belief ignites and activates you, and it activates everything around you. When you got the passion and you got the drive, that thing becomes so contagious that even your haters and doubters will now believe. So are you going to believe with me? Come on. Let's take this journey together.